bombard you guys by sharing stuff that just hits the news. And have you guys gone back into your LinkedIn and the feeds and seen some of the things that are coming across? And um, Amazon talking about getting into the pharmaceutical business. They're going to get into the vision business, and so it's Walmart's trying to figure out how to enable and to not lose people from going into its stores. And there's fewer people that are physically buying things these days, which is really kind of interesting, right? And so it's a big shift and change in the culture and how we're used to doing things. And certainly when I was your age, it is entirely different. And so, if you forecast from where you are right now and you jump 35, 40 years forward, you think of how things might be. It's kind of cool that you're right now at the cusp of something that is going to drive our future and how we choose to adopt the technologies and choose to make good decisions, ethical decisions about what's right for us, as well as then when you guys are in the professional side of the house and providing services to others. So kudos, and it's really timely for having this class. Part of the project is to work in teams, and so the reason we have the final project, and I wanted to spend some time with you guys today, just a few minutes, is one, I would love to be able to do this more often, because even as we're getting into this world of autonomous things and machine learning, artificial intelligence, and where things are going to be happening seamlessly behind, is we still need to have human interaction. And so it is still important. And people will tell you, and as we were looking at an early case study early on, I said, human is the weakest link. It is true, right? Because we have habits. And sometimes our habits are not always, sorry about that, are not always what they need to be. And we tend to repeat patterns. I know I do. And but for us to be able to serve and to be able to have an enriching life, we need to be able to interact with one another. And that's not going to go away. How we do that, couldn't have done this 20 years ago, right? And you start to think, and I'm like, everybody's right here, right? And so, and being able to reduce distance and time and to be able to come together. So with the final project, talked about the C-suite and how we are driving for that corporate board. It's important to be clear, concise, on point when taking a concept and delivering it forward to people who are going to make decisions. That's why I have you guys harness and focus on your critical thinking. I say, guys, I want to hear what your opinion is, but where's your sources, right? How are you linking this? And so that we have that background and that context so that you can drive recommendations. And I had a briefing to the C-suite yesterday, and I give myself about a 70% on it, maybe less. And so I had about 7 minutes, and I had prepped the C-suite in advance. I had talked, and there was not going to be any surprises. But wouldn't you know, one of those C-suite members said, I wasn't briefed in advance on this. And I just did the day before and weeks before that, right? So you're always going to have times where people throw you under the bus, and it's okay. Sometimes there's politics at play. What I want to do with our exercise, the final assignment, is you guys are going to work in two teams. And over the course, I got from one team, I forget what they called themselves, I can look online later, is come up with a team name, choose a topic or an area of interest that is important to you as a team. Have you guys worked in teams before?
Yeah, through governor's school, we usually work in teams every year, once or twice a year for our semester projects.
So do you work in teams with people you like, or sometimes you get some people you don't like?
Well, you usually don't know. You usually have either one or maybe two people from the same school if you're lucky.
Okay, good answer. So, right, and so here's the thing: when you get into career and professional environments, and you're working with teams, you're going to work with people you don't care for. You're just going to say, "I flat out don't agree with that person," but the goal is to be able to deliver together. So you need to be able to come together to focus on an area, a subject, and you need to be able to deliver. And so you need to put biases aside, and you need to say, all right, we're going to work on why the sky is blue. I want to know why the sky is blue. Let's work on that together. And so the goal is to develop team dynamics. And this is an opportunity to be able to have that real world experience around exploring cyber through this exercise. In undergraduate and graduate courses that I teach with UVA and others, when I first started teaching 10 years ago, I say, okay, final project would be a research paper. Listen, that stuff's for the birds, right? Because it allows you to do the research, writing this 15 to 17 page paper, but ultimately you got your paper and it's like nothing comes of it. There's no action as a result of that. This is about driving your critical thinking skills so that you are working on a project. And I hope one of you guys, if not several of you, decide to do again, right? Whether you're in a trade craft area or whether you decide to go on to college, is to be able to pull the thread on this and say, you know what, I looked at X and I want to be able to lever that again. Graduate and undergraduate students do the same exercise you're doing. And I met last night with my graduate class with UVA, and we were going through the same discussion. They actually presented their sessions online last night, and they did them individually instead of teams because this is different for working adults from all over the place to get together. So none of them ran under 4 minutes. 2 out of the 10 got it right to about 6 to 8 minutes. Most of them went over like 13 minutes. So I had to buzz them and to say, time to wrap up. The attention span for this audience that you're presenting to, which you're part of, is this corporate board, it's like 1 minute, 30 seconds, okay? It's very short because they have a lot on their agenda. And so to be able to hit things, and so my recommendations, as you're outlining your projects, outline them. What is your goal? To meet your goal is, I want to recommend a school, well, let's pick something cyber. going to say something, but I don't want to influence you. So I think one of the things I shared was, let's say a goal is to have casual Fridays a week. And so our goal is we're going to make a recommendation that everybody can dress casually for Fridays a week. And then you're going to set up, what are your objectives? So how are your objectives, the things that you're going to recommend, speak to your overall goal, right? What are the things that you're going to set up and then the actions to be able to enable that to occur? You want to approach this with what I call BLUF, bottom line up front. And so as you're scoping out your outline, you're going to want to be able to convey your message. You're going to tell people what you're going to tell them. I'm going to tell you why I'm making a recommendation for Casual Fridays, because it's going to improve employee morale and give us a sense of community. It's going to allow more flexible working environment. It's going to provide inclusion, whatever the things are, right? Provide a more casual atmosphere and relieve stress, make people happy. So, then what is the research that you have done that supports your position? Because we like to think we're original and we're the first to come up with Casual Fridays. The truth is we're not, right? And so there's a lot of stuff that's been invented, and over the last 2018 years plus. And so I want you guys to focus your research, and that's a good place where you can actually divvy up some of the experiences, some of the work, to bring that together. I'm not going to tell you how to organize. I'm not going to tell you or suggest how to work together as a team. Part of the leadership part and is to be able to work that out together. As teams come together, they call that storming, right? Because we got to figure out, we got to divvy up this stuff. We got to find a way to communicate. Are we going to email each other? Are we going to do this virtual? Are we going to, meet at the local coffee shop? Are we going to talk on the phone? How are we going to do this? I want that all up to you. I don't want to prescribe any of that, because I want that to be how you guys start to then normalize as a team, going from the storming phase to the norming phase. And there's going to be pain in that process. And you're going to say, I want to tell Professor Lancy, I want to fire Sophie because she's not doing her work. Don't pick on you, Sophie. And right? And so you're going to have this. That's okay. And so you don't have to be in agreement all the time. That's a natural occurrence as you're working in teams, right? And that's the beauty of this, and being able to do so as an inclusive, is that we're all different and we all bring something different to the table. It's okay. Ultimately, you're going to have to try to figure out how you're going to approach this. And some of that is being willing to sacrifice some of your own individuality and your own thoughts for the greater good of the team environment to deliver. Again, things I'm not going to tell you that I want you to experience firsthand. Some things will be smoother and others won't. Has everybody seen the rubric and the guidelines that I've shared before, though?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you seen that, right?
Yes.
So I like the one metric where it says when you're presenting, you get the lowest points because you fell asleep or somebody fell asleep. So it is, there's no perfect way of doing this. I want you guys to understand this is a safe environment. This is about discovery and exploration. No fear, no stress involved with doing this. I want you to enjoy this experience and have fun with this. One thing I will ask you guys to do is you're going to learn as I have. All feedback is good. There is no bad feedback that we receive. When we stop, this is me as a professional, when I stop to say that I'm willing to receive feedback from my peers or my seniors, I've already then said I'm not willing to consider anybody else's input. I'm not willing to grow. And this is all about us growing together as a community, as well as individuals and as teams. And so I want us to be honest in sharing our feedback with one another as part of the process. And we need to prepare ourselves to be able to receive that feedback too. Okay? What do you guys think? Some thoughts on that? Do you have questions about your individual topics or things I can help you to get you guys moving in the right direction? No bad questions.
Do each of us have to write our own research paper, or are we all working towards the same research paper?
One research paper per team, one position paper per team, 3 to 5 pages. So it's not long. Here's the thing. It's harder to write a shorter, clean, crisp, supported paper than it is to write the 15-page one. It's harder to say less than say more, right? And so you all work together, and you all work on that document together, and everybody gets the same grade on that team. You're graded for how you present as well as the paper itself.
When we present, are we going to like come together and present in person, or is it going to be over like Google Hangouts?
That's a good question. I don't know. So Mr. Reynolds and I talked about this with Caraway at some point. Jerry, what are your thoughts on that? We were talking about maybe doing something later in April, but
yeah, we can go any way that you want to do it, and we can set it up here at the Best Western or however way we want to work it. Or we can do virtual presentations. Either way will work for us.
how many schools are the students? Is there a way to get them together if we did it virtual for them to present as a team?
To present virtually, I don't think we've ever done that before, but I'm willing to give it a shot. But your groups are different from different schools, right?
Yeah.
That would be an interesting way to present. It'd be neat to pursue that.
I'm wondering if like how they came together the last time when we met like this, if there was anything that was coming up where they were coming together as a group again. And that way, if I could be there in person, I would. But if we had to do, that way, at least the 4 students were standing together presenting and another 4 were standing together.
Yeah, as long as we plan ahead long enough that we can set up a field trip and get all the students together here at the office, that would work out great.
I'm thinking maybe something like that would be good, and whether it was then physical or whether it was they were physical and I was virtual. But however, my schedule is just erratic, um, and
Yeah, I
how
think
about
if you
you?
work out a date that you think that they have enough time to finish the project, and then either a date or a week or a few dates, and then maybe the students can also pitch in as far as dates that are good, because spring does get a little crowded for all the different activities that they have going on, especially our seniors. So if we can get a date lined up early enough, that would work out great, and we can have them all meet here at the office and present virtually if you're not able to make it here in person. We'll go from there.
Okay. The according to my calendar, guys, to get off topic, our last class, according to the calendar I have, is 2 May, Wednesday, the 2nd of May. And so we can work towards maybe something like that, or the last session that is on the system is 25 March is the cyber movies for that week. Okay. What do you guys think? We hear from Margaret, Sydney, and Sophie. How would you recommend to deliver?
Recommend the what?
How would you like to deliver your presentation? Would you like to have your group together to deliver?
I feel like if we're all together, then it would be easier and we could sort of feed off each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather us be together than be all apart at all of our schools doing it. Because when I'm in a group, it's easier for me to present when I'm presenting with the group than when I'm on myself.
Okay, Margaret, Sophie, Sydney, what do you think?
I agree with Margaret and Sophie.
Okay. All right, so we'll work towards that. And for you three, just since I can do a poll, since you guys are there right now, what is the best days during the week for you guys?
For what?
If you were to do a presentation.
I cannot do it this month. I have my senior presentation, and I'm not sure when my senior expo is, but it is sometime in April.
I prefer Fridays. I can do any day except Wednesday, but Fridays are my preferred days just because it's the end of the week.
Okay.
I can do, any day except for a Thursday.
So Jerry, just looking at the calendar, so potentially maybe the 27th of April or the 4th of May. You're muted. I think you're muted, Jerry.
So the April 27th, that was one of the dates, right?
Yeah.
That is our senior expo.
Oh,
And that runs from 9:30 till 12:30. And I'm not sure that our seniors would be, they might not be interested in trying to present
yeah.
their big senior project. Well, I guess we only have one senior, and that's Sydney, so we can ask Sydney right now whether or not that would be too much. I'm not sure the presentations might, if you wanted to, we're thinking maybe the afternoon. Sydney could knock out both of them at once, but I don't know if that would be a
Yeah.
little too much for you.
What do you think, Sydney?
I would prefer if they weren't the same day, but if that's what we have to do, then
So that's April 27th, but May 4th, we don't have anything planned at this point, so that could be a better option.
Yeah. My only concern is when that would probably be all right. I think May 4th, unless we were to move it up to the 20th. But
April 20th is open for us.
what do you guys think about April 20th? My only concern about May 4th was when I need to get grades in for this class. Hard cutoffs.
April 20th seems fine to me.
Good to me.
that's fine.
All right, let's do that. Let's target that. Majority has spoken. And I'm okay with whatever time. You guys, I'm going to let you guys find a time that's convenient for all of you, and I will support whatever time you choose on that day.
All right, I will send an email out to all the students and give them a time. We'll start off with maybe starting at 9:30 or something that morning on the 20th, and see and have them all check their schedules just to make sure that they're all available at that time, and we'll be able to come into our office
Okay,
and present there.
that's good. You guys get out of school, right? This is school, but you get out of the normal grind, which is I always enjoy it. What other questions do you guys have of me? I've been trying to correct some of the video links. I appreciate everybody's participation in the threaded forums. Going forward, lessons learned going forward is to be able to find tools to give you an experience. So I actually reached out to a place, and I won't be able to provide access this go around for this class, but I've learned something that will help to do this again for future classes. That's something called the Virginia Cyber Range. And so as a professor, I was able to log in and to be able to access that. And I think it would be awesome to be able to avail to high school and undergraduate students to be able to participate in something set up by the Commonwealth. And it's pretty good, Jerry, the Virginia Cyber Range. I wish I had noticed it or seen it before we got started. If it's something that I can adopt, and then as you're downloading these various tools and trying to play these, and you're saying, "Won't let me do this," it's because you're accessing the internet on the school system. then the systems are in check to prevent you from doing that. So and unless you have access to it from home, it creates this big loop of it just doesn't work. And so I apologize about that. Learning as we go too. Don't forget, there's a quiz coming up. Some of you have started quiz number 2, which is on which was on the 7th. And then we got secure networking, information sharing, and then big data, which I'm going to be having us looking at worldwide threats for the month of March. Any other questions, guys, whether it's about the course or about our final project together? Please feel free to ask anything you'd like. Have I been responsive when you reached out to me? Living up to my 24/7 access promise that I get back to you right away?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure, holding up my end of the bargain. Well, guys, I really appreciate your hard work. I appreciate your partnership. This is a partnership. We're learning together. And look forward to, as we get into the second half of the semester, for goodness. Welcome feedback anytime. If I haven't, sometimes I talk over myself in my head as I'm developing things. It's never a problem to text me. You have my email. To call me. Just let me know who it is. So I don't want to block you guys by accident. Say, I don't know, I just block them. And you never get through. And just let me know who you are and that you're in this class. And I do this with undergrads as well as grad students. I have them contacting me on Sunday evening saying, I don't understand this. I want to help facilitate your success, not be a roadblock for you. Okay? And in the program side of the house, we call them control gates. You got to go through these various control gates. I want to be a low obstacle that will help you steer you in the right direction. And so please don't hesitate to reach out to me anytime. Okay. Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for getting online today. Thank you, Jerry, for establishing this and doing all the IT magic, because I just don't have that magic anymore to figure these things out. And I hope you all have a nice weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. You have a good weekend too.
Thank you.